Welcome back to Forgotten Hollywood. Every movie I go into, I have a hope that I will be surprised, that somehow, some way, Hollywood will get over its obsession with the message and just make a good movie. As you can probably guess, I'm usually disappointed, but there have been a couple of surprises over the last few years, like Top Gun Maverick and Ghostbusters Afterlife. The latest of these surprises for me was Disney's Haunted Mansion. If you've watched my past reviews, you know that I am generally not a fan of reboots or remakes. But this one's different for one reason. It is a remake of a movie that was a critical failure. Well, it did make money at the box office. The 2003 version starring Eddie Murphy had a lot of problems. These mostly revolved around plot issues, writing, and the lack of haunting in the haunted house. If you are going to reboot a movie, choose something with problems that need improvement, not something that was done right the first time. Here are the strengths of the new Haunted Mansion. It took a few elements from the original, inspiration from the ride, and wove them together with new characters to create a cohesive story. There is tragedy, drama, suspense, adventure, mystery, and a healthy dose of comedy, something really needed for me to enjoy a movie in the horror genre. Was it the best movie of the year? No, but it's easily in the top three so far. Not that the bar is set that high. I did enjoy the performances, even if some were over the top, and the effects were decent, even if the ghosts were on the cartoony side. There was an almost tangible danger to the characters on a few levels. For example, Danny DeVito's character has heart problems, so the other characters do everything they can to keep the ghost from scaring him to death. One of my favorite things about this movie is that they had a diverse ensemble cast without the problems that usually come with that. Every character made sense. They contributed to the group and had strengths that allowed them to help with the problem at hand. There was a central character that got more screen time and background, but the other characters got enough that they were understood without slowing down the plot. No one needed their hand held the whole time. No one was shown to be an idiot so that the others would look better. It was balanced. Also, the New Orleans setting allowed for the diverse casting without making it look forced. It just worked. The look of the ghosts was another thing that I appreciated. Some of them resembled skeletons with transparent flesh, allowing for facial features but still visible bones. This wasn't a universal look, it depended on the character and the lighting. Could they have been scarier? Sure, but I didn't think they needed to be. I'll admit I've never been to Disneyland, so I've never been on the ride. But best I can tell, they were going for that look, and several of the characters were straight out of the ride. The effects weren't bad overall. I've seen worse and I've seen better, but the movie didn't have any scenes where I was questioning what was happening due to darkness and haze. There were a few negatives. Some of the acting was wanting, particularly Jared Leto, which might not be his fault. He was voicing a character that was fully animated, so the disconnect may have been as much about the look as the voice inflection. I really enjoyed Owen Wilson, but I generally do when he is well cast. He provided a bulk of the humor, much like Eddie Murphy in the original, but I did have some issue with this character. I'll come back to that later. My biggest problem with this movie is the fact that it's July. Last I checked, scary movie season is October. This isn't even the only poorly timed release this year. Mission Impossible 7 came out in the middle of the week, just missing a holiday weekend. Oppenheimer came out in summer rather than in the fall, which is prime time for movies hoping for an Oscar. Why wasn't Haunted Mansion slated for a Halloween release date? It's like the studios were throwing darts at a calendar to see when things should come out. There is also the elephant in the room of the Disney name. Over the last few years, especially with recent string of flops, people have lost faith in the brand. Too many actors and directors speaking out against the fans, too many major changes to beloved stories, and just too much politics. This is going to hurt Haunted Mansion because so many people are just done. No matter how good the movie is, they're just not going to see it. That's the consequence of burning too many bridges. There's just not enough goodwill left for people to get to your side. Overall, I didn't hate the movie. I will say that I would only consider it a family film if the youngest person in your family is 12. It's too dark and intense for younger audiences, in my opinion, and earned its PG-13 rating. I have no idea why studios think that PG-13 is the ideal rating for family films. But to its credit, the previews for this movie were aimed at older people and not children, unlike Barbie, which was made for an even older audience than Haunted Mansion. The only spoiler I will give is this, so stop here if you don't want to know. The character of Father Kent is as Catholic as the Energizer Bunny. It was kind of obvious if you have more than a passing knowledge of the church, but the biggest giveaway was that it was his idea to bring in a psychic to cleanse the house. Well, that and the fact that he admitted he wasn't a real priest. The man had a rabbit's foot on his cross, the kind of cross only worn by bishops, and not even that nice of a cross. Going in, I guess that either he was a con artist or Disney did their religious research at Spirit Halloween. Well, that's my take on it. A decent story, a little too cartoony to be a serious horror movie, but too scary to be a purely fun family film. If that sounds like your speed, then you might want to check it out. If you don't like ghosts, horror, Disney, or fake priests, then you might skip it. I don't regret going, but that's because after so many flops, it's so nice to have a relatively good film, and they didn't swear beyond a few instances of the Lord's name in vain. No hard curse words, no nudity, no adult content. Best of all, there was a promotion of marriage and family. I can't emphasize enough how nice it is to see that, especially after Barbie. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the Haunted Mansion? Do you have memories of the original or the ride? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, and I will catch you up next time.